Hey guys.
Hey guys, how's it going? This is Michael, and as always, this is Dweeb Culture. Joining me here today, as always, is Mr. Mitch.
Hey guys.
And we also have Mr. Cole.
How's it going?
All right, now Cole has moved closer to his internet modem router, so hopefully we'll be able to keep him on the line this time.
I have an
All right,
Ethernet cable on the way. Thanks to
perfect.
Mitch.
We did that in the hot take that we did. But yeah, so we are moving on now to Bad Batch episode number 2. This is now only a 30-minute episode, which means that this is going to be a lot quicker, hopefully. And the first one was an hour and a half. So I think moving forward, these are going to be half-hour installments, is my guess.
Yeah, that's consistent with the other animated shows too. Seeing a first episode that was an hour and 15 minutes, I mean, they had to combine the first 3 episodes together. It's the only thing I could think of.
That's probably true. To try to get people, first time watchers in kind of enthralled with it. So anyway, so this episode starts off, we're right off the last episode. So it kind of seems cool that this series is just going to like literally pick up one after the other. There's no like soft intro, there's no cold intro, there's no nothing. It's just going to keep going, continuing with the storyline, which I actually kind of like because a lot of shows these days have soft or cold intros. That really don't have anything to do with the prior episode, but this one just seems like it's just going to be, so if somebody made it like a really long movie and just cut it up into segments, and that's what they're pushing out, which I actually kind of appreciate, because then you could keep the story tracking. In any case, so we're starting off this episode with on top of the shuttle that Omega has joined the team. They've defected from Camino, right?
Yeah.
Camino. And so now they're on their way to go see their deserter friend. And we had this really cute moment at the beginning where Omega's just sleeping. And then she sees dirt for the first time because she's always been born and inside of a spaceship and she's never seen it
Water
before.
world planet.
That's right. That's right. And then we get introduced. We see, some of the creatures from the beginning, which make a reappearance later on in the episode. And we see these new characters. We see Cut and Sue. Now I'm curious: is Cut and Sue, is that something you guys are familiar? Are those people you guys are familiar with? Are they canon? Or are they?
Yeah, well, just to recap, I have not seen the Clone Wars animated series. That's the only Star Wars I haven't seen, and the Rebels. So animated stuff I have not seen. I'm watching that right now. So Mitch would be the guy to go to on that one.
So yes, in the backdoor pilot to this episode that was delivered in season 7 of the Clone Wars, the Bad Batch contacts or meets this rebel clone that defected. He's AWOL and he has a family now. And that's who they were going to visit. They do
So he doesn't have a chip in him anymore.
I actually don't recall that. He may. It may just be that he never heard Order 66, but may actually turn evil upon hearing Order 66. Because he is an ordinary clone. He's not a defective clone. He's just a clone that went AWOL. He is an ordinary clone.
My thoughts on the whole Order 66 thing is that they all heard it through their helmets.
And but he didn't have a helmet
from
on.
higher above.
Exactly.
That's what explains. That's why.
Yeah.
It explains why he didn't hear it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we land on this planet, Sulukumi.
It's not important, dude. They're leaving the planet in this episode. We're never gonna see it again.
All right, fair enough. Anyway, so we meet them. We see that they're they were old buddies, old trooper buddies. I'm assuming they weren't ever in the same squadron or anything like that, right? Because
no, they meet him after he's already defected, and at first they're very hostile to him. They say that he's brought like dishonor upon them. No clone is ever supposed to defect. This, that, and the other. It's only when they see that he has a family and children and the role that he's taken as a father, they kind of forgive him and leave him be. Now that they're on the straights, though, and they're trying to hide from the Empire, who has been hiding from the Republic and thus the Empire for years, is the first person that they go to help try and find a way to not be hunted anymore.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, because he even gave the suggestion at one point. What do you suggest I do? Go find a place in the middle of nowhere and go settle down over there, because
Yep.
in case he wanted to defect.
That's what he did.
Yep, yep. So Omega meets the kids. The kids, Shia and Jack. It sounded like. And those are the two kids of the main characters. So they're playing, having a grand old time. She gets to play around with kids, and then we go into. They want to leave, right? They want to get out of there. They feel unsafe there. Cut and Sue do. So they want to leave, and Hunter offers to take them on their ship to go, somewhere else. And he says, no, that's too dangerous. Look, you guys are wanted men. I don't want to put my family in that predicament where we're with wanted men.
Yep, they ain't trying to catch no smoke.
And then try to catch, exactly. And then they go into town to see if they can purchase transport. And look at that. The new Galactic Empire has issued new credits where now everyone needs to be basically give credit cards to everybody.
Well,
and you can
register. In order to exchange their old money for new money, they have to first register identification with the Galactic Empire.
Right.
Yeah.
So that you would think would change the math a little bit, but it doesn't. And they still want to go through with it. Apparently, he doesn't trust his friend Hunter nearly enough. He would rather have everybody sacrifice their lives and forge money, break into an armed facility, steal a ship, grab host fake identities, and then hand it to them while they're in line. He thinks that's a safer route to go than to go on this ship with Hunter and leave the place himself.
Yeah, the plan unraveled pretty quickly, because at first it makes sense. No, bro, I'm just going to take this regular old transport and not be blown to bits. And then right after, they're like, nope, hey, I'm going to commit several intergalactic felonies here, all and fake identities, because I don't trust your flying, bro. Sorry, it's not going to happen.
Exactly. So apparently not as good a friend as he thought.
Yeah, well, I got the impression they were trying to catch the last transport off the planet, and it was the Bad Batch, being hijacked and doing all this crazy stuff.
Hunter offered to take him wherever he wanted to go, and he's like, "No, you guys are criminals. Hey, can you guys commit a crime for me and my family?" So that I thought was a very I don't know about that storyline. I don't know about that plot for this episode.
But that is the plot. That is the plot for this episode, and the only other things that we see really is just the little bit more insight into Omega, which makes sense. She's the most recently introduced character. Sure. But we see her first interaction with other children, and she's playing, and then there's a scene with an alien tiger that goes nowhere real quick. It doesn't really have any lasting impact.
The next suit.
But really, the main thing is that dynamic between Hunter and Omega, which you hinted at in the last episode, thinking that was going to be a long-term sort of thing we'd go on. Nope, it's addressed immediately. Right away, he's the father figure. She's the child figure. He says, hey, we're a bunch of wanted men. You should go with this cool, chill family. And she's like, no, I want to ride with the pirates. And he's like, all right, whatever,
fine.
Exactly.
I know, right? They're like, okay, fine. You know what?
Whatever.
You're right, kid. I have a lot to learn. Yeah, you do. She should have gone with a nice family. That's what should have happened there.
Exactly.
And so here's the other thing, though. He trusted his friend to take care of this kid, Omega, and then Omega's just like, nah, I'm not going with you guys. So what do? They're just like, okay, that's fine. All right, bye, Omega. Go. Good luck sneaking back into a ship under all this blaster fire. What?
You're not my kid. I didn't want you anyways. Okay, bye.
What are you doing?
I know. What? You're just gonna give me a kid?
Do you have long hair
episode...
like my kids do? No.
Yeah. This episode just confirmed that, Omega has a bigger part to play and is special in some way. And but the Bad Batch's goal, going to that planet was, how are we going to survive? We need help from another deserter. That was resolved in one, quick conversation. Oh, if you want to drop off the map, you can't become a soldier anymore. You have to leave that behind. Okay, that's the only prospect.
Whoa, we would have never thought of that. Okay, never mind. Bye, bro.
Exactly.
The,
Exactly.
re-
Well, that was pretty
the
much,
rest was a waste of time.
and so that was pretty much the episode. The episode was them trying to. Oh, I also thought it was really funny. The really funny line, the funniest line to me out of this whole episode was when they were talking. Hunter was talking to Tech about these credits, about these what do they call it? The chain. Oh, I can't remember
Chain
the
link
chain.
something, yeah.
The chain links, right? And he's like, hey, Tech, are you able to forge some of these chain links? And he goes, well, I've only just heard about them, but yes.
But yes, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Done.
Look,
Done deal. Good.
Michael, you just don't understand
What I thought.
blockchain technology. This is all cryptocurrency, and that's what we're talking about here, okay?
That's true. Yeah, fair enough. And he's Texas smart guy. And Tex smart guy. That's all you need to know about him. He can do it.
Well, I just heard about it, but
Techie.
why, yes, I can.
Yes, I just heard about this thing, but yes, I can. And then and then he doesn't do it. Like I thought he was gonna like hack into something and do it. No, they just break into the facility, get some blank chips, put in some information, and then I'm like, that's not forging anything. That's just breaking in and making a new one for yourself.
Well,
Yeah,
I guess he
so
forges the data.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just looked this up, guys. Tech is short for technology.
What?
Yeah.
Technology.
I thought it was short for techno music.
Yeah, see I was wondering when he was breaking out the boombox. Anyway, okay, so technology, that makes sense. That he's familiar with technology. Gotcha. I still don't know what cross ears have anything to do with any of this, but yeah. So in any case, that was basically the episode. They are able to get on, and then the family that was introduced this episode that let them stay with them for like a day, maybe two, broke them onto the ship, and then they're gone, and now they got their ship back. They impounded their ship. They impounded their ship voluntarily, and they got it back at the end. Apparently, Wrecker is just super duper strong and can pull off docking magnets whenever he wants to.
Yep.
That was that. I mean, those were big magnets, man. I don't know. And even if you pull it out, like it's a magnet, right? So it's just gonna go back on, but it just stayed where it was. Stayed where it was.
I'm very interested to get your guys' take on this episode, because ultimately, I mean, breaking down what happens this episode, it's almost a waste of time. It's just they meet up with Cut, and then they decide they're gonna help his family escape this planet, and Hunter thinks he's gonna turn Omega over to them for them to raise Omega. Omega totally bails on them and meets back up with Hunter. And Hunter, not even remotely angry, just like, okay, fine, whatever.
Oh, what are you gonna do? Yeah. Well, I mean, so they did have that line there. Kids will find a way to get in trouble. That was a main thesis. So he's like, I guess I'll accept that.
But I guess it is very parallel to the Clone Wars episodes in that there's a little storyline to each episode.
Yes, and
a little mission.
It doesn't necessarily serve the greater overall plot, or at least it doesn't necessarily make major gains towards the greater overall plot. Now, Cole, you and I just watched a series that moved a lot faster than this, in Invincible. So this is definitely a massive slowdown for me, because that is a series where there are massive steps forward in the story every single episode, and this series, it apparently seems to be keeping pace with what the original Clone Wars series did. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I don't hate one-off episodes. Yeah, and I don't hate one-off episodes. I think that the takeaway we're supposed to gather from the end of this episode is Omega's a part of this crew, and she's going to stay a part of this crew. I mean, that seems to be kind of where they're going with this.
Definitely.
And I don't feel that it was particularly earned, because frankly, it does seem ridiculous that Hunter changes his mind that quickly. Like, okay, whatever, you can stay with us and be in danger. It just seems unrealistic. Now, mind you, yes, I know we're talking about a galaxy far, far away in which, space wizards and cyborg robot people and aliens all exist. I know, I get all of it's unrealistic, but the dynamic in that relationship, while I still do like the relationships and characterizations of the different characters, I do like this very Ninja Turtle thing that they are leaning into hard, by the way. This episode is only more Ninja Turtle-esque in the relationship between the different characters. I like that, but this was one of those, like, suspend your disbelief things, which we had to talk about a lot on Captain America and the Winter Soldier,
Yeah, we
aka
did. Yeah.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where
Yeah.
there were scenes that would pop up and we're like, what? Okay, suspend the disbelief. We're just doing this
Sure.
to move the
Mhm.
plot forward.
Sure.
This for me seemed like a similar thing. Like, hey,
Yeah.
this is what we're doing this episode. It's to set up this next sort of story arc.
Sure,
I imagine
sure.
in the next episodes they're going to progress the overall story forward. They just wanted to use this
Mhm.
episode to kind of further develop Omega as a character
Further
and part of
Yeah,
the crew.
and I think that was definitely probably the main point, right? So at the beginning of the episode, what did they want to do? They wanted to go see this friend because they need to lay low for a little bit because they're wanted now as deserters. And they went to go see him, and then the friend's like, "Nah, we're leaving, bro. Later." And then so wish you could stay, but no, we're out of here.
I don't want
know,
any
much
part of
to
you
that.
guys. Bye.
Yeah. By the way, can you help me forge some stuff and get my family out of here on your way out? Right though, and you know, if you're looking at it from a larger story point of view, Omega just kind of appeared. She wasn't like a main character in the last episode at all. She wasn't part of the Bad Batch crew, right? So she kind of just went on to the ship with them, and now she's a part of them. And so it makes sense in the larger context that they're like, you know what? This is a kid. We're a group of killers. This doesn't really fit. Let's see if we can drop him off at like this family thing. And then Omega, under her own volition, is like, no, I want to stay with you guys. I'm part of the crew now. And then Hunter accepts. Okay, you're part of the crew now. And so, Mitch, I think you had a good observation where you're like, this episode was really it was offering Omega a chance to be a normal kid. And she essentially just rejected it. And it's like, no, I want to be part of the Bad Batch.
Yeah.
This is my journey. And then so that kind of solidified that. So I think moving forward, we're not going to have any more questions as to why the Bad Batch still has this kid around, right? I think that was the point of this episode.
It just established the family of the Bad Batch.
I
And-
agree. Yeah. I think wholeheartedly this was the episode to just kind of immediately squelch any talk of, wait, why do they still have her around? Like, nope. This is the episode where she's a part of the crew.
We addressed that.
Yep, we addressed it, and we're going to move forward now. So I expect the next episode is going to get back to the Empire's pursuit of them and their continued attempts to escape.
Probably what's his name?
Crosshair?
No.
Yeah.
Crosshair.
Yeah.
So it'll probably turn back to him. But did they mention where they were going?
Nope.
Like, did they have a plan on where they were going? Okay.
Nope, we'll see.
I didn't think so. Yeah.
No.
We'll see,
and their
dude.
plan again. Their plan at the beginning was to go lay low at this guy's house, and he's just like, "Nope, I'm leaving, guys. Later."
As of right now,
we'll continuously see the Empire growing with the authoritative power.
Exactly what I was
they come
gonna
across.
say. Yeah, exactly what I was gonna say. As of right now, the greatest asset of this show is the continued development of the Empire, and we're gonna see how not only the Empire itself grows and forms, but how the other planets within the, now Empire, the Fold, the Republic, all kind of adapt to this new form of rule. Because we saw a little bit of already on this episode with the issuance of the new currency. I mean, they are wholeheartedly treating this like a new government. It is a new government, there's a new currency, there's new types of credits, there's new requirements, there's new laws, and pretty soon they're going to dispose of the clones and have new enforcers in the form of stormtroopers too.
So pretty much what I'm saying is that to people like me, the layman people right here, my focus is primarily obviously on the Bad Batch. Yeah. And it kind of seems like to people that know the history, the real value in this series is seeing the implementation of the new Empire.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. And I will say, without spoiling too much, like, reading into the future comic books of Star Wars and books of Star Wars, there are some clones that float around in the Rebel Alliance.
Well, we know that already from just the shows moving forward. There's always going to be some impact from the Clone Wars and the clones. But it's no secret they are, this is in the original trilogy, let alone the sequel trilogy and the prequel trilogy. There, at some point, the clones just stop being a thing. And I think that's what this show will be about. Will be about when the clones stop being a thing. Because it's never really made clear to us, are the clones all eradicated? Did they just age out? Because they do operate on an advanced aging schedule. They age quicker than normal humans do. It's possible that they just aged out and were replaced by enlistees, or if the Empire made an active attempt to destroy the clones and replace them. I don't know, but I expect we'll see that in this show.
Cool. That sounds good. That sounds something like worth looking forward to.
Yeah, and one more quick thing. I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys remember Battlefront 2. Like the whole thing is told from the point of view of the 501st clones. And at one point, one of the missions is a civil war at Camino, where the 501st are fighting some rebellion clone wars. They're fighting each other. And I wonder if that will come into play.
Interesting. Turns into a battleground a little bit later on, maybe.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll see, because that's one of those circumstances where, remember, that's not canon anymore. After Disney purchased it, it's no longer canon. So we'll see if they steal anything from it. It would not be the first time that Disney's taking something from the former canon and implemented in the new canon, i.e., for those of you that have watched the Rebels show, you know that a major villain of it is Thrawn, and Thrawn was not originally designed to be a villain in the original trilogy era, but was designed to be a post trilogy era, a sequel trilogy era villain. But they did implement him, so I would not be surprised to see if they implement some other ideas from the expanded universe into the new canon. But we'll see.
Well, I have no idea what you guys are talking about, but it sounds interesting. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. We're going to try to keep these ones way quick because this is only a 30-minute show. Let us know down below what you guys like about, this kind of the setup that we're doing. And if you have any suggestions, anything like that, like, subscribe, comment down below. Really appreciate it. Share it, give it to all the people in your life, mom, grandma.
Send this to grandma for Mother's Day.
Send this to grandma. Send this to grandma for Mother's Day. In any case, guys, thank you very, very much for watching. Mitch Cole, thank you so much for joining. And as always, live long and may the force be with you.
Execute Order 66.
66.